My name is Jim Snow. I'm the Director of Organizing for District Council 35, and my job is just to, I guess, summarize some of the themes that we're hearing this evening and to reflect on them a bit. And I would say that we really are dealing with a set of facts here that is a sort of a microcosm of all that is wrong with our industry and the way workers are treated in that industry and in the greater society increasingly, unfortunately. It's unfortunate, if not an outrage, that all of this took place on what you could argue is the signature building in the city. I mean, if you drive through the city, there's no building that sticks out more, is more a reflection of the city, really, than Melville Towers. And that's true not just because of its size and because it's housing for our senior citizens, but also because the history of Melville Towers is one of public support for that building, of government funding, of government assistance for the people who own and run the building. So it's especially outrageous that these offenses against society and against these workers would take place in that building. It's outrageous, the labor laws that have been violated, the wage and hour laws, the employment laws, the labor relations laws, the discrimination laws that arguably have been violated by the supervisors in that building. It's outrageous that the laws are so difficult to have enforced that we have to resort to the good citizens of the region to sit and hear the facts of these situations. And it's outrageous that the process for pursuing a person's rights, a worker's rights, under the labor laws and the discrimination laws are really so obeyed in the breach, if at all, and more often than not disobeyed by employers. And it's outrageous that we don't have a forum really where the public can be acquainted with the facts in these situations, these offenses. We have gender discrimination, arguably, in this situation where female workers, and it's I don't have to tell these folks how difficult it can be for women to operate in our industry. The history of women in the building trades has been tough enough without having to go through this kind of treatment. It's outrageous that immigrant workers have been the victim of exploitation and, in fact, outright discrimination in terms of their remuneration, their standards of employment, and the standards of employment of others in the project. It's outrageous that the labor laws are so lax that the mere sharing of an elevator ride can result in the termination of people who make no other mistake, commit no other offense than to happen to share an elevator with some union officials. That is an outrage. And it's simply a situation that is replete with unfairness, with vindictiveness, with a predatory instinct on the part of the employers in this situation to extract a pound of flesh from people who really don't deserve that kind of treatment. And I guess in one important respect, I'd like to apologize to these workers on behalf of the people of this country, if I can be so bold, because our ability to protect them in so many ways is so limited under the standards that have been set by Congress and by the legislature. And so, I guess on behalf of all of us involved in the economy, we should apologize to these workers who really did nothing wrong and don't deserve what happened to them. I think we're extremely fortunate, on the other hand, that they are willing to step forward and put themselves on the line, put themselves on record about what happened to them. It's very often the case that workers will simply fade away, shrink from the exposure that is involved in this kind of a hearing and in the complaints that have been filed with the government agencies, figuring that it's better to just move on and not incur any more pain by having to replay the facts as they have had to do. So I really want to salute them. It's a great thing that they're doing, not only for themselves, but for other workers, because if we can articulate their message to the people in the city, we're going to give support to other folks who might have a similar fate befall them. And I know that they feel strongly that what happened to them should be remedied by their employer and by the agency responsible for handling their grievances.